Okay, first question. Are there recommended strategies for dealing with frustration beyond simple noting? I work in the technology sector and I'm dealing with technical difficulties on a regular basis, and frustration often arises. Well, I'm with you on this one. And I think the point is to understand that we're dealing with inanimate objects. Not the point, but it's an easy solution. Is to remind yourself that you shouldn't expect anything more. There's the Buddha's teaching on how to deal with frustration, and that's what he uses this phrase tang kuteta labha, which is actually a difficult phrase to translate, but it means something like what more could I expect from this? This is when dealing with people. If you're dealing with people who are cause of frustration, that can be quite difficult because they're animate and they actually can be malevolent. But and I know this is difficult to understand, difficult to get your head around, but no matter how much suffering they cause, computers are not malevolent. They may seem like it. It may appear that the computers and the technology and the whole universe, in fact, is out to get you. And in fact, we do this all the time. We've done it since the beginning of time, the beginning of humanity. You know, when it rained, we would think, "Oh, the gods, we did something right." When it didn't rain, we would think, "Oh, the gods are angry with us." When lightning struck and when there was a forest fire, we would think, "Oh, it must be the gods, something we've done wrong." And so we apply we anthropomorphize every situation. Now, in Buddhism, it's really no different whether you're talking about a human being or whether you're talking about an inanimate object. There is no entity and there is no being there, and it's all simply impersonal experiences. It's states that arise and cease. When you're dealing with an animate object, a person or an animal or so on, you're still only dealing with sights, sounds, smells, tastes, feelings, and thoughts that you yourself have. You can never actually experience the person. And so the Buddha had us remind ourselves, when you're dealing with a person who is a cause of anger and frustration and even hatred, that this is the way the person is. That person is just like that, and we shouldn't expect any more. But with inanimate objects, I think it gets a lot easier. We can see how ridiculous we're being. And you know, the common example everyone gives is that when you stub your toe on something, you find yourself kicking that object, you know, hurting your toe even more, or getting angry at the object. When you hit your head on the table, you get angry at the table or on the door frame or so on. And when you're walking in Asia, when you have these short doors and you're a tall person and you smash your head into the door frame, the first instinct is to get angry at the door. And we use this as an example to help people realize how ridiculous we are, and how our anger is irrational. It has no basis in logic or reason. There's no reason for us to get angry. We make the reason up afterwards. We're angry, then we're angry at the door, and then we start to think about who made the door and who was the foolish person who designed this door and didn't make it tall enough, and we start to get angry at them. And then we think this is racism, and they don't, you know, or whatever. They don't have any idea that foreigners are tall or something like that, for example. And I think this equally applies to computers. We get frustrated and angry at the computer. You know, you do, like I do some programming, making the website do this or that, and then it doesn't do what I want. Right? And the instinct is to get angry at the website, at the computer. Why aren't you doing what I want? What's wrong with you? You curse and swear. No. And so I would say you benefit in the way that the Buddha said from reminding yourself that this is the way it is. You know, it is this way. It couldn't be any other way. There's obviously some cause that is making it this way, and reminding yourself is another method. I mean, obviously the greatest method is to be mindful of the anger and the frustration. And so, apart from that, I would say one more thing, and that is that unless you're an anagami, you're going to get frustrated. And rather than get frustrated at your frustration or feel guilty about it, learn to look at it and say, oh, there I was frustrated. And remember that we're just beginning on this profound and incredible journey, that it can be even many lifetimes long. And we're not here to destroy anger here and now, necessarily. We're here to start to learn about it. And the first step to overcoming the anger is to learn about it, to appreciate it, and to say, wow, look at what I've got inside. I've got this viciousness that makes me kick my computer or smash my computer screen, right? These comics that you see of people smashing their computers and so on. Anyway, that's some thoughts on it, I hope. Pawanyani?
Yeah, I have something more to say to it. The problem, I think, is when we take things personal, that the computer or so, or the door or the table does something to us, or if we think another person does something to us, and we take it personal, and it is actually not personal, especially not if it's something from technology. The computer doesn't have any intention to do something to you. It just does what it does. I think it helps a lot to send metta, to have metta thoughts, and to be happy for yourself, to have the chance to learn some more patience. That it is what helps me around in such situations.
Send love to your computer. That's an interesting one.
No, but
put a heart on your computer and
to yourself.
Or buy it something. Buy it some flowers or something. You could really, because if you start to think of your computer in a nice way, and those people who put those little dolls on their computer screen, or buy your computer something nice. Just it really works. These are techniques we can have to. They're psychological tools to help us to feel differently about things.
And if that doesn't work, then you still have the chance to learn patience with it. So, and you should be grateful for that chance, even if this is very difficult.